Well, hello creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators live stream. We do these every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you haven't already clicked the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when we go live, we would love to have you join us here every week. Normally what we do is we hang out and we talk about all the latest changes and updates happening on the platform. The updates YouTube's making, the changes that they're making, the new directions, and sometimes it's not just YouTube, sometimes it's other platforms. Facebook, Instagram, even Amazon, some of these other platforms as well. But today we want to do something a little bit different with you guys. One of the things I love most about live streaming is that we can actually interact and we can talk and we can connect and we can hear what you're working on and give you ideas and feedback. And it's like, that's like the main thing I just love about live streaming. And so I actually have a friend with me. I'm going to introduce you to him in a second. Some of you guys have already picked up on who that is in the chat. So good for you. But what we want to do together is just answer your questions about about promoting your YouTube channel. And I'm going to record this as a podcast episode. We're going to answer your questions as a part of the podcast recording. So in chat, you can leave those questions about promoting your channel. This is, in my mind, a little bit different than just discoverability on YouTube, which is like kind of the broad overall everything. Promoting your channel is like the initiative that you take to promote your channel, whether that be a Facebook strategy, a Reddit strategy, a Twitter, maybe it's a social media strategy, maybe it's a paid promotional strategy, like something that you're taking the initiative to do that's outside of YouTube's built-in discovery systems, which I do want to start by talking about that first of all here. But in the meantime, leave your questions in the chat. And Heidi is there. Her channel's Scandinavian Today. You'll see her. She's awesome. Thank you so much, Heidi, for your help. She will be taking your questions and putting them in front of me and the guests I'm going to introduce you to here in a second. And we're going to just crank through as many of your questions as possible, helping you guys out, knowing and learning how to grow and discover your channel. So I'm going to start the recording of the podcast here. And then I'll bring the guest on. You guys will get to know him, which I think a lot of you guys probably already do. So it won't be a huge shocker, but it'll be fun for us to hang out here together. And thank you for those of you who are sponsors of the channel. Patty, Broussard, really great to have you. And those are the people who are like supporting these live streams, making them possible so we can hang out, do the research, bring the data in to you so you can save tons of time and just do what you love best, which is reaching people and impacting their lives. So thank you for letting me and the guests be a part of that here. Let's get started with the podcast recording. Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you guys again for another Video Creators podcast episode like we do here every Tuesday on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. We have a great show with you guys today because I am joined by a friend of mine, Benji Man TV, who's also known as Video Influencers, or he's also known as a dad with twins just like me. He's been around YouTube for a long time. Together we're going to talk with you guys about promoting your YouTube channel. But Benji, first, tell us a little about yourself and your backstory on YouTube, how you got started, and what you're up to today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Let me know if you can hear me clearly, you guys. I'm reading the comments. Honored to be here. Thank you, Tim, for having me on. I've been watching you for years. One of the best resources for YouTube, for social media, just general marketing tips. And I'd have to say that I love YouTube. So that's why I'm excited to be talking about how to promote your YouTube videos today. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I originally started by managing my wife's business. She originally was the one started as a beauty guru. So I was managing, her relationships with brands, negotiating different terms for deals and stuff. And then we started vlogging in 2011, daily vlogging, and literally have been doing that ever since. We're now 6 out of 7 days. But I've been on YouTube. I've got multiple channels. My latest venture, kind of like being influenced and inspired by Tim, is called Video Influencers. I feel that I've had a lot of experiences and I've learned a lot, so I want to share as much, just like Tim does, about what I've done in the last decade. So that's a little crash course about what my involvement is, but excited, Tim, to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here, and we're going to have a great conversation because I know you've done a lot with promoting videos over the past 10 years, and you have something unique, I think, to bring to this conversation in terms of it being both like an entertainment type of channel where it's like not necessarily like how to do something or 5 ways for this or whatever, these are like you're just telling stories and making those discoverable, but also in some of the more educational type of content like the how-tos and the DIYs and the, tips and strategies for different things as well. So it'll be good to have your perspective.
Absolutely.
Here.
Thank you.
You guys who are listening to the podcast, you'll find links to his channels and everything you just mentioned in the show notes, so you guys can go check that out. We are actually live streaming this recording as well, so there are people here in the chat. And what we want to do is talk about the questions that you guys have about not getting discovered. Like that's where my mind usually goes to, but that's like such a broad, all-encompassing thing on YouTube. What we talk about is promoting your channel. And by promoting it, these are the things that you do that you can take the initiative to do to help get the word out there about your channel and to really help to bring new people in and growing the discoverability and exposure for your channel. So Benji and I today are both going to dig into your questions here together, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys out with these questions the best way that we can. So Benji, I kind of want to start this conversation with kind of talking about the discoverable aspect, because a lot of people, I feel like, when they think of discoverability, they think about like, well, I need to put paid promotion behind it, or I need to and Reddit strategies are totally effective and great. Facebook can be less of, but Instagram, like there's other places, things that you can do, collaborations, for example, where you can take the initiative and promote your channel. Would you agree that is that like, when you think about discoverability on YouTube, though, is that usually where your mind starts, or where do you usually start with that discoverable conversation?
I mean, the first thing is to define the difference between discovering and promoting, right? Mm-hmm. People discovering your channel because they didn't know you even existed. They're using the search function on YouTube. They're using the hashtags on social media looking for things they're interested in. And then they find you. They discover your video or your channel or your brand or whatever the context of your world is. Promotion is like the direct action to potentially be discovered, but more importantly is to promote your content to your current audience, whether that's 100 people or 100,000 people. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm talking about. And I know that we're leaning, correct me if I'm wrong, more on the promotion side.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing. People think those are maybe the same thing, which actually kind of can be, right? You can be efficient with your time, but very distinct tactics and even like strategies behind it. Promotion isn't like the best way to be discovered because, again, it could be looked at as an ad, but there's definitely savvy ways that we found work best so it doesn't look like an advertisement.
What I try to do is I want to think like, where's the juice worth the squeeze, like the most, So I feel like in promoting my channel, I put a ton of time into planning that, organizing it, getting it out. And the payback, the reward can be significant. But I personally, in terms of discoverability, and I do want to focus in on the promotion part, but in terms of discoverability, like I much prefer to make stuff where YouTube's own systems just kind of take over and promote it. And you guys who are listening to this, you've heard me talk a ton about that in previous podcast episodes and live streams, where it really just to boil it all down to like maybe an oversimplified, summary, which is you got to make content that people love and people respond well to, that sends the signals and the triggers of the algorithm that they then want to promote your video, because YouTube wants to promote videos that people like watching. So that's a whole nother conversation, but I just want to say like up front that I think that in terms of discoverability, I love focusing my time and energy on the suggested videos, the homepage, the recommended videos, and somewhat even search for some types of videos. But that's kind of like where I think the juice is worth the squeeze the most.
Yep.
But there are some things that are definitely worth your time too that you can do with promoting your channel.
Yeah, and let's jump off platform, because that's a whole nother conversation about YouTube and discoverability and using the right tags and search engine optimization. The things that kind of are automated. Promotion is something you're going to do initially and maybe ongoing, and it's the stuff that maybe isn't as invited by people because it could be looked at as a commercial or an ad. The number one thing I say, after the fact that you have to have good content, the number one thing is, can you add value to somebody through your promotion? Here are a couple of examples. Say you do have a top 10 places to visit when you're in Rome, Italy, right? And that video lives on YouTube. Well, when you go to promote that, can you maybe tell people the top 2 of that top 10 within that promotion of that video? Most people, they just say, hey, I've got a top 10 list of places to visit in Rome, Italy. Go check it out on YouTube. No value, except it's just advertising what you're doing on YouTube. The value can be you actually give them some of those tips. Now, not everybody is going to want to see the rest of the 8. The 2 is enough. Right. But there's 2 important things to consider. Number 1, people that appreciate that you gave them the top 2 and want to see the rest will go to your YouTube page, right? Because that's specifically something they're interested in. Second thing is, even if they don't go to your page, they're going to remember, it's like, hey, this guy's adding value for this specific reason. They might subscribe to you or follow you on that platform. So again, you don't get people to your video necessarily on the first time. It's like the second, third, fourth, 10th, 20th time. So keep that in mind. Number 1 is the value that you bring. 2, be native to whatever platform. We were talking about there's differences between Reddit and Instagram, right? Between Twitter and Facebook. Obviously, all those are different from YouTube. One of the number 1 mistakes, which is also kind of goes along with number 2 advice, is create content that's promoting your video natively. So if you have a 5-minute YouTube video, make literally like a 10, 15-second video you're promoting on Facebook. You can even promote it on Twitter as a video too, or maybe it works better as an image. On Instagram, again, if you're going to promote with an image of your YouTube video, make sure that image promotes or has some kind of value to it. So if it's a top 2, maybe you literally put it in the image or you put it in the caption below. That is so important, because a lot of people, they want to skip the extra work. So they just put the link on, or they put the actual video on there. And that's not the point. I mean, I think that Tim and I can agree. You want people to get to your YouTube video, right? To your YouTube channel. That's the ultimate goal, because we do feel that YouTube is the home base. But you don't do it by just asking them. Everybody else is promoting their videos with URLs and links and stuff. Right. Try to add value up front and sell them on that opportunity to be at your channel and watch the rest of that video.
You have an opportunity to go watch my video.
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to add too. Say you're not like a top 10s or info channel or like a how-to, even a vlog. So I'm a vlogger, and I've been vlogging since 2011. And our vlogs can be 15, 20 minutes long, sometimes as short as like 5 or 10 minutes. Tim, you know how that is, right? Mm-hmm. That would be impossible to promote that on other platforms, especially with people that don't know who you are. What you do is you put like the best 30 seconds, and it's the most entertaining. Maybe it's the one that's going to get that laugh, or it's going to get the emotions going, or whatever it is, and you put that onto other platforms. Mm-hmm. And again, that is that value that you're adding. So even if they don't go to your YouTube channel, which sounds backwards, because you think that like, well, I might miss out on potential viewers, right? They don't want to cannibalize their potential traffic by keeping them off platform. But that's not what you're doing. Everybody else, I can promise you, 99% of the world, they don't try to add value within their posts on social media or other platforms, right. And they lose out on the potential traffic to their YouTube channel.
Yeah. Adrian Bennett asks, how do you define value? When you say value, you and I both use that word a lot, because I totally know what you mean, but what does it mean to you when you say provide value?
So first off, I have to mention, it's weird to see the YouTube certified button on me, on my shirt. So thank you for letting me be YouTube certified for a little bit. Okay, value. Value can mean so many things, but in a nutshell, are you doing something for somebody's life in that moment? This, again, is something that goes over people's heads, because when you're on social media, you might not be thinking that way. But think about the reason you're on Twitter or you're on Instagram, on YouTube. You're expecting something that's going to get you interested, something that's going to make you laugh, something that's going to inform you, right? Even a vlog can be valuable because you're entertaining someone. You're taking up someone's attention so they're not bored to death, right? The value can mean different things, whether you're an info channel, you're a news channel, you're teaching people some kind of skill or trade, you're keeping people up to date with some kind of event, you're entertaining them, you're making them laugh. There are just so many things. Make sure that value is in your content. I would argue everywhere. Everywhere, even when you're engaging. So that's a whole nother discussion on promoting that we should definitely dive into. But even when you're engaging with people, you can add value, and we'll talk more about that soon.
Yeah, I think of it as giving rather than taking. So if it feels like it's taking from someone, like you're just trying to extract value from someone, like, hey, go watch my video, or please make sure you smash the like button or whatever. I'm not saying those are bad things to ask for, but like I want to give first so that when the ask comes, people are like, heck yeah, like you just gave this to me. I want to know what happens next, or I need more of this, or something like that. We have a lot of questions coming in here. I'm going to start with a super chat from Our Awesome Life. Thank you for your support, by the way. I really appreciate it. I've had my channel for 2 years and feel I'm at the point where I have something valuable, but it's hard to be seen. How can I get myself out there more? I think this is a good general overall question, which you've been kind of talking about already a little bit, Benji. But
My Awesome Life YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can even find you first off.
Awesome Life. Yeah, I can get you the channel link right away.
Yeah, do that. So I'm assuming when you say Our Awesome Life, because who doesn't have an awesome life? It's a vlog, right? It's a vlog channel. Tim, let me know where you're sharing it on the Skype thing.
Skype, yeah.
Okay. So this is the thing. You have to remember that most vloggers became popular because of something else. And I'll explain. My wife, for example. I would love to say, like, I'm this amazing vlogger just because our life is awesome. Well, first, Judy was teaching the world how to do makeup and beauty and built an audience that had context with her, that loved her and were like loyal fans. So when she started the vlog, it was easier to have them watch her life, which, to be real, especially as parents, and we still live in the same town we grew up in, is actually pretty normal day to day. But what was interesting is that she built up a loyal followership that was interested in what she does between, shopping sessions or doing her makeup every day, or maybe like the process leading up to the makeup, because that's where they had context. That's what her content revolves around. So vlogging is a really difficult thing if you don't have that audience already built in, because what you're trying to do is convince the world that your life is awesome enough for them to be interested without that context or those years of followership. Tim, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, considering the fact that we both are vloggers and that we have these similar questions.
Well, yeah, for discoverability for vloggers, I usually go more towards the suggested videos and just teasing a really good story that people were enticed to want to click on. Like, oh, what happens there? Oh, that sounds interesting. Mom goes shopping alone with 7 little kids. That's a actual thing for us. It's a thumbnail of like kids falling out of the shopping cart, for example. So, and then the video has to open then, of course, with that story. You can't come like 8 minutes later, like that first time viewer clicked, not because they care about you, but because they care about the story. So the story needs to start right away, Yeah, go ahead.
And Elizabeth, I found your channel. Thanks, Tim. I'm looking at your videos. Tim's spot on there. The other tactic that he's talking about is make your videos maybe searchable, okay? I can speak to this because I'm assuming you're a mom. I'm seeing these kids, or at least you're like a mom figure. I'm pretty sure you're a mom, right? Taking care of these kids. In the mom world, what happens when a lady gets pregnant, and this is just my experience with our audience, is they want to know how other moms take care of their kids, how they go through the pregnancy. Tim, do you ever get this feeling where it's weird when you're talking about this stuff? Like, as a man that's never
I love
birthed a
talking
child.
about like some of those things, actually.
Oh, I do too. I can't say I have experience, but this is what I've observed of our audience, Elizabeth, is they're looking for tips and advice, and sometimes just experiences shared by other moms. So your videos, I noticed that there's different like lengths of them. One suggestion, piggybacking on what Tim said, is make isolated experiences within your vlog a standalone video. So for example, if your channel is all about like raising kids, like I'm not saying you are, but like say you're a single mother, right? And there's certain challenges a single mother has raising kids, and they can relate. If you had an experience that you vlogged, and you could maybe at the end of that segment talk about, it's like, yeah, you know, being a single mother, I don't have this support, or I need certain resources I don't have, or whatever, and you made that like a standalone and uploaded just that. Now that's backwards thinking, because you would watch other vloggers who vlog their whole day. But in terms of not just discoverability, but even promoting, it's easier to promote something that has value, right? And you're not leaning on the side of entertainment. Because this is the thing, not everybody, in the beginning at least, is going to be super entertaining, super intriguing, super interesting. You might have to like get in your groove and find your kind of like your spark. But almost everybody can add some kind of value based on your experiences, because you have unique insight. So rather than doing, I'm just looking at your times, like 15, 10-minute vlogs, think about, are there certain parts of my day that I do experience something and I could like help another mom in that situation, and cater the tag to that. And what that's actually going to help you do is figure out what you're all about. The thing that Judy has never lost, my wife, who is a vlogger now, daily vlog, probably more known for her vlogs than anything, she's never lost that aspect of being a beauty lover, a mom, and a wife. Those are her three pillars in her YouTube world. So even though her vlog's a lot longer, she really highlights those parts of her life. So anybody that is watching her vlogs are going to get inspiration or some kind of entertainment within those three things, because they're also interested in it. I hope that helps you, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Did you mention your wife's channel URL or name? What people want to find?
Yeah. So if you guys want to know more about what we do as vloggers and what my wife does as a beauty guru, just type in "It's Judy Time" for the beauty channel. "It's Judy's Life" for our vlog channel. Just to give you a little overview and context, my wife and I, but she's the one that started all this, she's been able to gain over 1 billion video views on YouTube, which is ridiculous.
1 billion, what a...
1 billion.
I almost said that number of children. I'm kidding.
800 million is just on the vlog channel, right?
Yeah.
She's had all these different experiences. And I can tell you this, she isn't the most fancy YouTuber out there. She's not doing all these tactical things or strategy things. She's just sticking to basics. But the things I'm sharing with you guys are some of the things that I think like mold the two together, how to be strategic. But also remember, like Tim said, you've got to have killer content that people want to watch, right? You can have like the best strategy. You can have the best techniques and tactics and everything. But if your content sucks, that person that was like interested or like pulled into your world, when they see your channel, they're never going to go back to your channel, no matter how strategic. But if you just have barely some strategy, some tactics, and you get them to killer content, that subscribe button, that like moment where they're getting some kind of value, whatever it is that your channel offers, that is the key. And that's why basics, you can't overlook basics.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go through. You guys have a lot of good questions coming in, those of you who are watching the live stream. So let's see if we can do some like lightning round stuff. Just kind of go through these pretty quickly. I'll take this first one from Alexander Nilsson. Is it a good way to pay for advertised promotions on YouTube/Facebook if you want to grow your channels and reach the right audience? I think it depends on your goals, Alexander. I would say that if you're starting out, most people assume that their biggest problem is lack of exposure. And so they think if I just dump a lot of money on it, it will automatically start working somehow. And I have never seen that be the case. So I I would say get things growing organically first, and then you can talk about paid promotion. But paid promotion, even on a channel that's growing very rapidly organically, there's some things to be careful of there. So we could get a lot into it, but I would say no, don't do that. Paid promotions were great if you want to sell something, if you want to get someone off of YouTube to like a landing page for something, but to just kind of get people to actually watch your videos. Like we said in the beginning, YouTube wants to surface videos that people want to see, and so paying money doesn't make them want to watch your videos. So, how about this one? Benji, this question from Brooklyn. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it, Brooklyn. Is it off-brand to insert a tutorial and a behind-the-scenes video? The tutorial will be on topic with the video. I'm trying to find a way to provide value while introducing people to my music.
Yes. So I think that is a much bigger can of worms. On
the promotional side of that.
Yeah, on the promotional side. So this is the thing, but I'm going to open that can of worms, okay? This is the thing. If you're going to add in a tutorial, think about the kind of people that you're going to attract, right? You're going to attract other people that want to learn from you, whatever that thing that you're teaching. So if it's music, I'm guessing maybe an instrument or singing. You're going to attract those kind of people. Not a bad thing, right? Even for a musician, I feel that's trying to build an audience because, that's your tribe, right? When you first start becoming a musician, the first people that probably will listen to you when you're going to these venues or even like online are going to be other musicians that are into that community of performers. So I don't think it's a bad thing, right? To do that because, again, one thing about YouTube that I'll remind everybody here, I'm sure, Tim, you've preached this many times. YouTube is a search engine. So the more searchable content you have out there, the more hooks you have in the sea to hook people to your channel. But you have to really think about what kind of audience you are gaining. And this is another thing, too. If you're asking that, maybe it's because you want to teach people. Maybe that's what you're leaning towards. But in terms of promoting your music channel, I think that it could work. And it's a great idea, just like so many other ones, because there is some kind of value. If it's like sunk into a video, right, that's a little bit longer and doesn't have as much focus, like Tim was saying, if, people don't want to watch 3 or 4 minutes of intro to get to the body, right? They want the stuff that they get out there for. Otherwise, they're going to fast forward or they're just going to look for a better video. Yeah. Tim, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say mixing behind the scenes with tutorials, kind of like two different values. One is like a casual, like more relational type of value, and the other one is more of a teaching, training, educational value. So I would probably just make them two different videos personally, but that's probably what I would do on that one. But Steve Believe Guitar asks a good question. How can we promote our channels without being considered spammers? Which I think you kind of alluded to a little bit in the beginning, Benji. I think it sounded like you were saying it comes down to just offer value in your promotion. Don't just be like, go do this and go do that, or sub for sub, or I need this or whatever,
You actually rarely want to ask for that, right?
Make me feel like I want to go without you even asking.
Yes. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it, right? It's like the jabs of the world. Lots of jabs at the front. Right hook is like the big knockout move, right? The big knockout move is please come to my channel to see this or to do this or help me accomplish this. A jab is the value. You're literally giving them a snapshot or, like I said, the top 2 of your top 10 list, and that value is so important. If your value that you're offering, whether it's like a 30-second part of your vlog or the top 2 of your list or whatever it is good enough, they're going to want to see the rest of the video. It's just human nature to get the full version, right? That's why in the marketing world, they have these things called upsells, where like you go in to buy something, right? I mean, like, it happens at any kind of store. You go, okay, let's talk about Target. My wife likes to go to Target, right? That is the ultimate upsell. But someone goes into Target or to a store to buy one thing. But but like the whole experience is so good. They're like, I might as well go see here because the price is so good. I saved enough. Maybe I could get a second thing. That's the same thing with what you do when you promote your content, right? You give them so much good value. And this is why at the end of the day, your content has to be great. Give them so much value that they want to see what the rest is. Mm-hmm. And that is the winning strategy for anything. Yeah. When you don't do that, when you literally just tease them, right? I mean, you kind of are, but in the case of like just self-promoting, where you just say, hey, watch my video, whatever. And that spam term is because if you look at your Twitter, it's like, video link, watch this, versus any kind of value. That's where you lose.
Well, the question in my mind when I see that
people's attention.
The question I'm always thinking is, why should I watch that? Like, why? I need a reason to click on that. You didn't give me one other than like you want me to watch your video or something.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. And another thing too, don't let the 99% of the world influence how you do things, right? Even that 1%, when I say the 1%, it's like the mega vloggers like Casey Neistat. He might do something a certain way because he can do it that way. Or the other 99% are literally just like spamming people. Don't think because everyone else is doing it, that's the way you should do it. I really believe this about Tim and his channel, his videos. He's trying to give you the best route to success, even if that means there's a little bit of work, because he's done a lot of research and observation, including myself from experience of what works best. So these aren't hypotheticals. These are like, okay, if you only have a certain amount of time, these are things you should absolutely do, right? Because the temptation is when you're just putting out a link to the world, you're like, well, if they want to see it, they want to see it. But it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
Lady Cat 77 asks, how do you promote when you are brand new with only 4 videos so far? Ooh, I would say, Lady Cat, that the reason why people start creating is because they want to they want people to consume content from them. They want to get the word out. They want people to watch their videos, and and I understand that. I think that there's so many lessons to learn when you're just starting that I would like when you only have 4 videos, I would say the main thing you want to learn is how do I just get into a rhythm of being able to create consistent value predictably for a target audience and just be able to deliver that regularly. That alone is hard. A lot harder than it sounds, to generate content regularly is always valuable. And just to learn all the lessons, I think when you have a small audience, you actually have an opportunity to make a lot of mistakes and learn a lot of lessons without offending and losing a lot of people. Because then the more people you have, the more you're like, I don't want to lose, because losing 10 subscribers could be like, half of your subscriber base. 50% drop would be huge, right? So I like that you guys really want to promote your stuff and get out there. But when you're smaller and just starting out, I'd say that will come. Like right now, let's just learn the process of generating content and being predictable and delivering as much value as we can on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. One thing I will say to it is the 4 videos doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Whether it's 1 video or 1,000 videos, the strategy is very similar. Now, don't promise people that, hey, you could go to my channel and watch like 10 days worth of content if you only have 4 videos, right? Yeah, you definitely want to be honest, but there's no point in like having that a focus in your mind. When you're beginning, you just need to pump out content. You need to learn how to get better, not only at creating content, but promoting that content. So like, I wouldn't even look at it that way. Like the fact that you're asking that, I think that you're so focused on those 4 videos that the real advice is go out and make more videos. Yeah. Get that number to 100, right? I can tell you is if you put up 100 videos and every time the video goes up and you observe the results and you tweak things and you get better, whether it's content or the tags and the title, and you look at the next video, maybe it didn't do very much and you do another change, or you're listening to Tim's advice, right? And you're going through these different tutorials and watching live streams of some of the experts, and you're watching other YouTubers. You do that 100 times, you would never ask that, because number 1, you'd have 100 videos, right? And 2, you would know that at that point, what you do from there on is going to be the same, whether it's 100 or 1,000. Judy and I we have this status on our channel called preferred YouTube channel, right? And we have, I guess, OG reputation because we've been on for so long, but it doesn't change anything for us. Like, we don't be like, because we have like 4,000 videos up, we're like, we can like take a break. Like, in fact, we have to be just as aggressive because there's more people with 4 videos that are going to be super, super hustling. And I'm not saying that to discount your 4 videos, but it's also to bring to light the reality that, like, right now you're in building mode, right? Building your content library, building your skills. Rarely does someone just like launch off of 4 videos, right? And that's why, like, even the promotion part, this is just all practice for the big day, for when you do have 100 or 1,000.
Yeah. Simple Fitness. Thank you for the $10 super chat, by the way. Simple Fitness. Along those lines, is it okay to wait a month to make sure my social media and batch videos are all ready and set before launching my channel officially? Like, how, like, maybe 4 isn't a lot of videos, but before they launch this and start trying to promote their channel, how many videos would you say they should have before they launch the whole thing?
Their whole YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
The strategy is going to be different for different people, different types of content, different goals, right? Like, do you have a business model behind your whole motivation for doing this, YouTube or social media? I say this: you start everything as soon as you want to start things, right? And I wouldn't have this like, wait to launch this. My channel, Video Influencers, I started 3 years ago, right? The reason we started it was because we wanted to write a book, right? We wanted to write a book, but we didn't wait for the book to be written to start the YouTube channel. We just said, hey, we have time right now. Let's start the YouTube channel. We started all the other social medias. Look at my Instagram for Video Influencers. It's amazing because of our assistant Gabby, who's been posting up stuff, but like literally for 3 years we didn't post anything up, right? And you just do what you can when you can, as soon as you can, but don't wait for anything. Like, the whole idea that you're waiting for perfection or for the right launching platform, I've never heard that from very successful YouTubers. Remember, when we started, when a lot of YouTubers started, there was no Instagram. So there was no waiting for something. We just started putting up videos. Mm-hmm. There was Facebook, but we didn't wait till like we had a certain amount of subscribers. If we felt like utilizing Facebook, we did, right? At the end of the day, it's like, how much bandwidth do you have? I do agree one thing that Gary says in terms of like working your butt off, right? I think that there's times for rest and time to spend with family and doing all these things. But the one thing is, if you have the bandwidth and the energy and the hustle, you should do as much as you can whenever you can, but prioritize the important things. YouTube first, right? Yep. YouTube first. That's another interesting thing. You're talking about, when should I start my channel? I believe if you're going to be a YouTuber, if you're going to be a video influencer, utilize this platform as a marketing tool, you start there, and everything else is like complementary to that. It's only when you started on another platform because you never thought you're going to be a YouTuber that you start on that platform and get so popular that you can start a YouTube channel. But if I had to choose one way, YouTube first, because remember, it's an archive library of videos. Yeah. And if you optimize your videos, which use the right titles, thumbnails, tags, info box information, it can live on forever. Mm-hmm. No social media platform, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim,
currently not yet that. Anyway.
Yeah, not yet.
There's some
By the way,
you
should always use hashtags, though, on other things. I've been doing that lately on Instagram. Make sure to use hashtags. I'm utilizing the little Insta Story saving mode where you have these little videos, and I'm using hashtags. And you never know. But right now, YouTube is where it's at, you guys. That's why we're here. But that's why we do these things on here and not on Instagram.
History Terp. Also, thank you for your $10 super chat. Last week, I created a video of a local event and put it on my personal channel, but shared it on Facebook. With 520 views so far, the analytics say that 91.2% of the traffic source was external. Do those views count? And yes, they do. If it doesn't matter how people get to your video, if it is a user-initiated playback, that is what they define a view as. So an auto play, like an auto like from a bed or something, that doesn't count. But if it's a user-initiated playback, then it counts as a view. So congratulations, and I'm glad glad that video is hopefully going well for you. Let's jump through. Let's see if we can go through these really fast, because we have like pages of questions from you guys, and I want to help as many of you guys as possible. And thank for those of you who are becoming sponsors and just giving other super chats. I really do appreciate what you guys are doing that to support us, so we can continue to do this with you guys. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, Rayla, are there better places to promote your channel when you know who your audience is? Like, for example, a gaming channel with 90% male, 18 to 34, probably shouldn't be on Pinterest. So are there any platforms that come to your mind, that like this is a good platform to use to promote your channel or your videos, this one's not? For audiences.
Yeah.
See if we can do it kind of quickly so we can go through some of these here.
I'll do it real quick. You're going to know based on your own experience and observations what platforms and what places that is. So it's hard to be like, yeah, this place is better for you or this place. I don't know that. But what you do is like one question, ask yourself, when it comes to that type of content for your own consumption, where do you go to watch and where do you go to engage? That's your starting point.
There you go. Good. Yep. Whoa, how do you say this channel name? Pegasus Angels Gameplay. I think I got that right. I try to add messages to my Twitter to tease the video through YouTube, but YouTube just spams the links regardless of the message. Is it better to manually share it to Twitter? And kind of what I want to go with here, Travis, is, or Benji, your last name, Travis. I call you the name. Is that like, people set up a lot of if, this, thens types of automated type stuff that just kind of spams everywhere. Are you a fan of that? You kind of hear the tone of my voice if I'm a fan of it or not. Or doing it like manually on each platform, maybe like what they're referring to.
You guys, it literally takes like a few minutes, if that. And Tim didn't promote this on Twitter before then. He's like, oh, I should do it. Literally 30 seconds later, the tweet goes out. If you're not willing to spend 30 seconds to promote your own video manually and do it natively, which means like in platform, catering to how that platform is, then I'm telling you, you're going to fall way behind the curve.
Yeah, I think you do it natively because otherwise it feels like spam. So post to each one. And there are some tools that will help you do that, like make it appear more native than others, but I personally, just choose which are the ones I get the most traction on. And like for me, it would be Twitter and YouTube. Anything other than that for me is just kind of a waste of time. Like even Facebook, and I stopped doing Tumblr a long time ago. Although I need to start experimenting more with LinkedIn a little bit more. But like even there, I don't publish the YouTube video link. I actually upload it directly to Facebook or upload it directly to LinkedIn or wherever the case may be. Or Pinterest now, you can upload video directly to Pinterest as well. And the reason I do that is because it works far better in those native platforms than a YouTube link will. It usually gets more promotion in those platforms. And because my goal isn't to get everyone to my YouTube video, my goal is to help people with content. And wherever they're at, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, that's where I want my content to be. And I just want them to experience it as friction-free as possible on that native platform and grow my Facebook page alongside of my YouTube channel and grow my Instagram and my Twitter alongside of my YouTube channel rather than trying to do everything I can get to get those couple of extra people onto the YouTube video to convert them in AdSense is what most creators are thinking. But I have a business model, and so does Benji, that goes beyond AdSense. And so I don't really care where those people are watching because I can convert them into sales and other things differently. I'm not just trying to get a lot of effort to get a few people to watch a video, which ends up being like fractions of a penny in revenue, if any revenue at all, So I don't really go for it that way. Farmer Meow, Keto Wife Life. How can I effectively promote my content when others provide more professional looking content on my topics, like farming and keto? What would you say, Benji?
So, have a little confidence in your content. Okay. Like number one, you don't compare based on the look of your content. You promote and you rely on the context within your content. And are you bringing value? When my wife started, she was not a makeup professional. She didn't do this professionally. She didn't have a business. In fact, she didn't really get hired to do a lot of makeup jobs, but she talked about it from her unique insight and experiences as somebody that's not a professional, right? There's a lot of people out there that don't want to listen to the pro level advice because maybe they're beginner, right? So wherever you're at, know there's an audience out there. So literally, if you start like believing that you have something to offer the world and you're not comparing to other people, then like how you promote will be completely different, because then you're gonna be promoting based on what you know for people that would value what you know at your level, whatever that is. The whole thing of quality content, it just takes time, and you're going to have to build up to it. It might be a resource thing, it might be a skill thing, but remember, when we started, it wasn't HD for sure. Our cameras were really crappy, and we were using a Movie Maker. You remember that, Tim? Movie Maker, when it was
Windows
free on a
Movie,
PC?
That's the first thing I ever used. Yeah, it was terrible.
Right? So, man, everyone starts somewhere, and you can build up to it. Now we're using nice DSLRs. I think we might be HD, but you know what? Tim and I, we don't even care. We really don't care at the end of the day, because what we say is the value we're going to give to you. So that's what I'd say to that.
That's what you need to think of as content value, not necessarily production value. I did a channel consultation a few weeks ago with a channel who had 7 full-time people working on producing their YouTube channel. These were television producers, high-quality content, looks amazing, really expensive 4K, big cameras, whole crew, sound design, everything. And they came to me because they're like, Tim, we've been doing this for about 2 years now, and we can't break 24 views a video. Like, what are we doing wrong? I'm like, okay. So, that was a fun conversation to have. Often with the problem is what people are looking for on YouTube isn't necessarily production value as much as they're looking for content value, but they're also looking for depends on how you want to call it, like a relational value, which has a lot to do with, I talk about this book a lot. You guys have heard me talk about Primal Branding by a guy named Patrick Hanlon. It's about what are the components of your brand that makes someone feel something, rather than just like, let me teach you this, and the other thing. But Farmer Meow, is that how you say it? Like, maybe it's like, I'm going to show you how to do something, but people actually like, you know what? I like that guy, or I like that family, or they believe what I believe. Like, the strongest communities, online and offline, always revolve around shared beliefs, not just common interests. So there's got to be like that more human component to it that
everybody's watching on a phone too. Remember that. So like your viewing window might only be the top part of your phone.
Super small. And
if you got TV level production, it might not even come through, right? That's the other thing to consider. Like right now we're going backwards. Don't get me wrong, I love watching HD movies. I mean, they got some like mind-blowing things now with TVs. But when I'm watching YouTube content, I'm watching on my phone 90% of the time these days, and sometimes not even wide, horizontal. It's vertical. So the viewing video is even smaller.
Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of people, Tim, and I think this is one reason why people do podcasts. They're listening to the YouTube videos. They're not even watching the YouTube videos.
Like what we're doing right now.
There you go.
It's a podcast recording. Yeah. So just focus on the human element. That all day long will perform way better. I mean, people ask the question all the time, which is like, why is that guy in his basement with a webcam outperforming my television studio content? It's like, well, he's like, I feel like I can connect with him on some level, right? Or I give you tons of examples, but it's not unique to YouTube. It's also like, why does that musician go double platinum and sell out concert venues, even though there's like a lot of more talented musicians in the world than they are? Why does that inferior product outsell that superior product all day long, right? And it comes back to the same thing. What has the brand done to develop and form a human connection with people? That is what will get people to watch your videos more and give you an advantage maybe over the highly polished content. So don't look at just the production, look at what it does for people. Going back to the value that Benji was talking about here. Boom shakalaka. Okay. Time spent playing, do you have any suggestions for promoting a channel that would be geared towards children to watch?
Time spent. Oh, okay. Promoting versus, well,
promoting a children's content.
It's similar to any other channel. Like, put yourself in the viewing experience of your viewer. So in this case, it's a kid. I have kids, so I know how they view, right? Depending on the age, they might not even be searching for something, right? So when you're promoting, maybe that's another thing. Depending on the age, they might not ever see a promotion because they're going right to YouTube,
and you have to
right?
be careful about targeting people under 13 years old.
And I'll tell you this, YouTube is not just cracking down on it, but they really want to be the hero platform when it comes to kids content right now. So like that could be like abusive, or there's certain like terms I think that are better for this, but I wouldn't suggest it because that's the point. Like there's a lot of things that you need to consider when promoting directly to the kids. The best thing to do, I think, is more of a discoverability strategy, right, on that. So that means like how you tag things, the thumbnails you use, rather than promoting. So one thing you can do potentially, right, especially kids under 13 years old, is you're promoting to the parents of those kids. Yeah. I can tell you this. As a parent that's concerned about what my kids are watching, if somebody promoted content in a savvy way and you're building this content for the parent, not for the kid, it's like a little bit backwards, but like you're creating like a little sizzle reel of the type of content you provide for kids. And it's got to be probably educational somehow, or high quality or friendly, right? Not
or
like
make
this
the dad
crazy
look really good or something.
There you go, right? Like, hey, make teaching your kids about the world easy and let us do the work or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, that was my only suggestion when promoting to kids, because, again, 6, 7, 8-year-old viewing behavior is going to be way different than a 16, 17, 18-year-old viewing behavior. But it really is the same, though, for most audiences. Think about how they find the videos first, and then create your promotion based on that experience.
Yeah. Vunter R, thank you for the $5 super chat. If I promote Twitch, Facebook, gaming, or any other streaming platforms in the description of my YouTube videos, will my reach be limited by YouTube? And the answer is no. Just linking to those doesn't limit your reach. Now, if a ton of people are clicking on those and abandoning YouTube and going over to Twitch or going over to your Instagram or something, there's something called viewing session, which Google wants people to stay on YouTube as long as possible, just like Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook as long as possible. If your video is ending that viewing session pretty consistently for people, then that could be a negative signal. But just listing, I list them. You can find the description of this live stream or in my videos. I have links to other stuff because sometimes it just makes good business sense to do so. And I try not to mix like a discoverable video with the video that's intended to get people off platform to like a landing page or to sign up for something or check. I try not to make that a discoverable video because I want to end the viewing session and make it more like community type of videos. But just linking them doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah, YouTube has been very open about promoting your other platforms from very early on, since that was a function that was available. They actually put these little icons in your homepage banner, right, that you can click on. So I think that YouTube is smart enough, and they definitely are smart to know that, like, if they don't help you as a brand overall or a business or just like an identity, online identity, they're going to lose. So yeah, definitely use as many links as you feel is appropriate. But always the value doesn't come off platform, it comes in the video.
Yeah. Alejandro Perez, thank you, Alejandro, for being a sponsor. I really do appreciate it. For those of you guys who don't know, there's a sponsor button below the video here on YouTube, and that gives you access to special perks and things here on the channel, like the custom emojis and the live chats. And I have some exclusive trainings, like in-depth trainings I have coming up. There's already one right there available with Roberto Blake and I did together that you get instantly when you become a sponsor. But I got more coming. So Alejandro, thank you. Appreciate your support. He says, at what time do you decide that promoting a video on a particular platform is a waste of time over spending time working on something else? For me, Alejandro, that was like, like Tumblr. I set up a Tumblr. I put my best effort forward that I could. My best foot forward. I was posting everything there natively. I was trying to do everything I knew to like get traction there, and it just wasn't. And so I stopped a few years ago on that because, all of us have a limited amount of time, and that just wasn't worth it for me. Pinterest, I was posting all my YouTube videos to Pinterest. That was not like people on Pinterest are looking for something other than like family vlogs or how to grow a YouTube channel. Like you think about how to grow a YouTube channel, you don't think about let's go to Pinterest, right? So if you want to like grow a recipe, like maybe that's your channel, grow a recipe, promote a recipe, that might work better. But for me, it was just like, what are people natively using this platform for? Is there a strong tie-in between that value and what I'm providing? And then I try it, and if after a little while I'm just not seeing any results, I'm like, okay. Like Facebook and I don't get along. I don't even try promoting how to grow a YouTube channel on Facebook. It's just, at least not without paid advertising to get in front of the right people. But for me, I just kind of, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Come back to that again. This one's for you, I think, Benji, Screen Reviews. Hey, Tim, Benji, love your channels. I definitely try to stay away from spamming, but posting meaningful comments on in other bigger related channels. Some got top comments. How much is too much? Is that a strategy you do recommend?
Yeah, I love that you asked that, Screen Reviews. I wish I knew your name. That is such a good point. We totally missed it, right? Part of promoting your content is engaging with other people's audiences, right? Engaging with other tribes or groups of people that might be interested in your content. So I think that is definitely a great strategy. You should definitely do it. Everyone should engage, especially in the beginning. Most YouTubers I interview on my channel, video influencers, almost always tell me they spent the first few years as much time creating the content and promoting as they did engaging with their own audience and engaging with other people's audiences. And the whole top comments thing, I actually am not that familiar with how the algorithm works because sometimes I see different things. But what I do know is I don't think it's too much as long as you're adding great engagement. So like if you're just spamming your channel, like, hey, you guys, sub for sub, or come watch my channel, I got similar content. That's not going to get you anywhere. But if you like somebody asks a question and before that creator can answer it, you answer it for them, huge. Right. 2, if you're actually helping that creator, so like say you like promote their video because someone I say, do you have a video on this topic? They're asking this other creator, but you know that they have this video, right? And you're a similar kind of content creator and you give that link or whatever. I'm telling you, as a creator, I'd be like, I love you. Hey, let's work together. When I say work together, you're not going to get offered like the keys to the castle right off the bat. But I, as a creator, would notice that and I would invite that. Engagement is huge because see, you can add so much value even with just a comment. But most people, they think that's the place where you invite people. No, that's where you go to add more value, and not just on YouTube, on social media, on Twitter, having conversations around certain hashtags. Huge for promoting your videos, even if it's indirectly.
Yeah. Gabby BGTVCA. Oh no, CA is the currency. Thank you for the $2 super chat. So helpful. Is regular live streams a good idea? I don't know that live streams are a good place to like promote your stuff. Like, hey guys, get in the live stream and I'm going to just tell you to go watch my videos. I think live streams are best used to, like we're doing here, engage with your audience, connect with them, interact, and use it for building community and growing that relational value. And then Richner Danell, thank you for your $5, said, love your work, keep it up. Any thoughts on having multi-language channel, best to split it into 2? From a promotional standpoint, I would say there would be 2 different audiences. So one that speaks English and one that speaks Spanish, for example. And so I do think that I don't speak Spanish that well, so I wouldn't subscribe to a Spanish channel. And if they started giving me a lot of Spanish videos, I would probably unsubscribe. I have a quick thing real quick on the live, okay, while you were talking. Oh, yeah, sorry,
hopefully you don't mind me. Oh, no, it's okay because I was doing some work. So the one thing I want to leave your audience with, Tim, that I really do believe, I believe this for like almost 4 years now. Live is huge, huge, huge. And it's the biggest hack that most people aren't taking advantage of. So whoever asked that question, kudos to you. It's a good question to ask. I think there's a lot of things you want to prioritize before it. But if you have the bandwidth and you have the chops, the reason I say this, Tim, I just went off on another window, right, that I'm not signed into, okay, as myself. And I typed in how to promote your YouTube channel, which is the title of this video.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's the number 2 position, your video.
Who's number 1? You?
Number 1 is Nick Nimmin, how to promote your YouTube channel for.
Yeah.
But you're literally number 2. And typically, if you guys don't know what that means, is I went to YouTube, which I could do a screen share, but I put it into the search tool, the title. So it's nice that his title is the exact same, right? But usually to get on that, it takes a little bit of traction, right? Like if you're really good, you might be able to get on the first page in the first day. But to get the number 2 spot, literally within, it's been 60 minutes, that is huge considering the other videos that he's competing against.
Right.
You know, we all know we're in this together, but of course, like competing for those spaces. Nick Nimmin has 240,000 views. Roberto Blake has 180,000 views. There's 230 of you guys watching, and he's got the second place. I want to just bring all this home, you guys. Live is being promoted so hard, not just by YouTube, but all the platforms, that it's the biggest, easiest hack only if you have the chops and you have the context to be able to share with people to add value, again, whether it's entertaining people. But I believe, Tim and I, this is what we have a passion for doing. So we have the chops and we're doing this. By the way, this was just planned like 2 hours ago, okay? Me being on here, right? But if you have a passion for something and you can add value and you can go live, I'm telling you, you can get the number 2 spot. Now, I want to give credit to Tim. He knows how to optimize his videos, but yeah. Tim, isn't that pretty crazy?
Yeah.
Tim's at the number 2 spot.
For now, like when the video is no longer live, you know.
But it's a moment for an hour, you guys,
right.
to have a position that you might not have, especially when you're first starting out. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to get this, right? But I'm telling you, live, the reason platforms are pushing live, not only does it get the most engagement, but also it's the most connected you can be to somebody. The reason social media is so important, and when it comes to like, that's why people don't like promotions or ads, because people want to connect with other people indirectly, directly, whatever. Live, it's like you're in the room with them. And I think that's so powerful. I just love that I did that. We do that for ourselves, by the way. I just love that you're number 2 spot. And I know that you might not carry it forever, but I'm telling you, for this window of time, and who knows, you should check it later. Live, you guys, it's a huge hack.
I used to have all those number 1, 2 to 5 spots for how to grow a YouTube channel, how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, how to make more money, how to like do all those things. But there's been a great influx over the past 2 or 3 years or so of creators like yourself, video influencers. We got here in the chat, Creator Fundamentals, Nick Nimmons. We got Roberto Blake and Daryl and a lot of people, which is great. I love it that there's more and more people coming and helping creators reach their goals and impact lives and reaching people with a message that can really make a difference in the world. And the more help we get, like, I should say the more quality help we get, the better. Some people are just kind of doing a black hat type of like, that might actually get your channel terminated. So don't listen to that advice. That like violates the terms of service. But so there's still those people out there who are kind of trying to get the quick hack. But
you let me know when we're going to bring it home, because I have some last thoughts.
Yeah,
to
let's
leave
bring it
with
home
your
right
audience.
now. What are your last thoughts here?
Yeah, you guys, number one, why I'm so honored to be on here is because even though I've been doing this for 10 years, I'm always looking to better myself as a YouTuber, as an influencer, just as a creator in general. So I've been watching Tim's channel forever. So that's why it's surreal that I'm on a live broadcast with him, because I've watched his stuff for so many years. But the reason I continue to do this and now I'm teaching is because I have so much passion for YouTube, right? For online video, whether it's on YouTube or other platforms, but YouTube, to become a YouTuber, to use YouTube as a marketing platform for your brand, business, whatever your passion is. And there's just so much opportunity. I mean, the fact that live thing, why that was such a big deal, because there's still a lot of things people aren't doing to take advantage of the tools and resources and the opportunities these platforms are making available to you. And the world is still wide open for you guys. As long as you're willing to put in the work, you got to hustle, and you love what you do, you have a passion for it, and you're having fun, right? The reason Tim and I can do this right now is because we're having fun doing it. Man, you will see success in time. Just be patient. And I'm telling you, I'm just glad that we have this platform called YouTube, because it is amazing. And the fact that it's free. It's free.
Yeah, I love it. If people want to find out more about you, Travis, where would they go?
Yep.
Where do they look up?
You guys, the number one place I'd say is just type in video influencers on YouTube. Just go there. I'm actually going live a little bit later today, but you can find my whole library. If you want to find me on social media, type in Benji Man TV on any social media platform, and you'll find me. And if you want to ask me questions, but you guys are in the right place. Tim's one of the OGs in this space. And I am just glad that I could add some value to you guys. And hopefully if that was enough value, you guys can come check out my stuff.
We actually are going to be together again next week, Benji and I, because there's a lot of reports that came out. We talked about maybe talking about this with you guys this week. We decided to put it off, which is what's happening on YouTube with among like all the other platforms that are out there. You know, Facebook was number 1 for a long time. They've since dropped to position number 4. YouTube is very strongly number 1 among teenagers, and with Instagram and Snapchat being behind YouTube, but pretty big distance there. So Benji has a lot of thoughts and insights into what that means for us as creators who are trying to grow our platform, especially if you have like a teen type of audience. And so we're going to talk about that with Benji next week. So if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you're listening to the audio of this, go to youtube.com/video creators, click the subscribe button, hit the bell. And those of you guys who are watching, love to have you guys hang out with Benji and I again next week. Same time, every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back here together again with you guys. And if you're listening to the audio of this, we'd love to have you subscribe to the podcast as well. Leave a review for us. It really does help us out. We love getting your feedback there. And of course, thank you to Heidi for producing this and taking all the comments and getting it in front of Benji and I, and all of you guys who are sponsors of the channel and the super chats. You guys are what makes this possible. So I really do appreciate you supporting the value that Benji and I are trying to deliver to everyone else who's watching. So thank you guys for hanging out, and check out Benji, and we'll see you guys again next week. See you then.